was there.
Right.
And he saw when...
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was so good. That was so good.
The fact that Peter Dinklage
right.
happened to be also near, you know...
He was there, and he saw, and when he did
near
that thing,
Tom Holland.
Oh man, that was so sweet.
Yeah.
That's kind of like when a Peter meets Peter, you know?
Yeah,
That's
I thought about it the other way.
Right? Dinklage and Parker, attorneys at law. That was so great. You didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah. And so then when Howard the Duck did the thing, and that was just like, with the drink in his hand, it was just nutty. I just can't believe it.
I even think Howard Stern's in Infinity War.
Oh my God! I mean, well, with the New York scene that you described, I mean, obviously he's got to be there. So yeah, it's just kind of a wonderful
He's
thing.
in there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the fact that they got to make Robert Redford look like he used to look in the Sundance Kid.
The technology
is really wild.
They did a much better job on his mustache than they did on Henry Cavill's. If you know what I'm saying.
Now you're really bringing it to the other side.
You're getting in all kinds of trouble for that one. But I'm just saying.
I actually didn't see it, but I heard about that.
It was there. It was there. It was a talking point. Certainly, yes.
It was a talking point that has come up a few times? Or
quite a few. I mean, people felt a certain kind of way about that thing. It was just...
What would you say is your favorite Marvel film out of all of the... Out of all
of them?
Yeah. You know, I just found out how many Marvel movies there actually are. I didn't even know. Do you know how many there are? 18?
18 total.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm a nerd.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Chadwick didn't know that.
Are you serious?
No,
he's fired. You can't not know. Like, what is that? Actually,
he said 10.
Okay, so here's what I was trying to figure out, is whether or not you have been featured in the most after credit scenes.
No, wait, that can't be possible.
I got a solid 3 off the top of my head, and I'm trying to think and work my way back to see if there's more.
Yeah, I've been in 3 after credit scenes, right?
4. No, I just 4. Yeah, 4.
So who else? Someone has to have been featured. I bet you
maybe
Sam Jackson.
No, actually, because he's only in like 2. He's in the first one, obviously.
Who's been the most after credits character that? Does anybody know?
Yeah, I'm literally thinking of you at 4.
I think it was you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, you know.
What do you know?
Listen, when we say you're integral to this universe, we means it. We absolutely means it.
In the after credits world,
yeah,
I am the one that's called.
And it's important. I mean, a lot of these things, they set up what's coming next. You are the phase 3 guy. Like, it's you.
It's like me, but then also like 37 other guys.
Well, I mean, they were there, but
I'm there too.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, listen, you guys didn't miss anything per se. Like, they're gonna cause a riot because they're like, oh my God, he's already here. This is terrible.
It's World War Z.
Yeah,
Finally. By the way, when are they gonna make that sequel? That's what I'm
amazing.
wondering.
Wouldn't that be amazing? You know what?
They said they
actually,
would, right?
as I'm looking at you, Brad Pitt might not get
Please
that
don't
call.
go there. Don't.
He might not get that call back.
No. I know this conversation is really only happening between you and me.
That's it? Nobody else is hearing this?
Nobody
no one's
else is
recording
really
this at all.
hearing this situation.
Nobody is recording this.
You know.
So we can talk about all kinds of things.
That's why nobody here knows that the Guardians of the Galaxy are stuck on the planet Hulk.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. No, that's a fact.
Why. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And then they go back through time, which is crazy. And then they end up in Jurassic Period, and that's how Chris Pratt.
That's how he was able to shoot both films.
Boom.
Fact number 88 today.
See what we're saying? Like, we're in the know right now. We've opened this all the way up.
That's why 87 characters were confirmed for this film.
Wow.
87 characters are confirmed for this film. A strong 42 are missing.
Yes.
From the film.
Yeah. All of them are Ultron now. All 87 characters are all Ultron.
Now, Okay, out of the 2 Avengers movies,
Yes.
which one was your favorite?
Avengers 1.
Avengers 1.
Yeah, I hated Age of Ultron.
Really?
I did.
Did you guys really felt that way too?
Yeah. Wow. Age of Ultron let me down. Age of Ultron let me down. Yeah.
You weren't in it.
Basically.
No,
I mean,
but
she's kind of right. She's kind of right. I'm not even gonna lie.
James Spader is so great though.
He
but,
is. He
right.
is. Was he well used? That's an argument. That's an argument.
I did think when Chris, when he
Which one?
yeah, which one? No, when Chris said, no bad language, I thought that one was a little. That was a lot. It was a little bit too much.
It was hook. It was a lot of
I'm
hook.
like, has Captain America seen like rated R movies?
Right.
I mean, has he even,
Well, I mean, okay, let's
like,
keep it
does he have
100.
like a parental guidance control on his iPhone? Like, I don't know.
No, because remember, he definitely gets down because him and Widow had that conversation of, was I the first person you've kissed since you've been in thought? And he's like,
Oh, that
no.
must. I remember that scene.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
That was on the. That was in the Captain America Winter Soldier, right?
yes, it was, which I had watched thoroughly. Have y'all watched that? I don't know why.
Before
I'm just
they
compelled to
jumped
watch
into
that.
the night.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, so we got a couple more people coming in. We've already got people lined up for questions. Let me just put this out here right now. Do not ask about Infinity War.
Or you can, but you'll be really disappointed in the answers.
Here's the truth. I'm just gonna tell it. The truth is this. Disney is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they have shooters. Okay?
Yeah.
The last thing that I want is for my man to get Mickey Moused, Donald Duck for something goofy, okay? We don't want no part of that. Thank you. So don't ask no Infinity War questions, okay? All right. So shall we just open this up?
What happened to that character Pluto?
Listen, I'm still trying to figure out how Mickey could own a dog and then be best friends with a dog. That just blows my mind.
Ooh.
That is insane.
What is Goofy?
He's a goof?
I just got owned so thoroughly. He's a goof.
Obviously.
Dippy the Goof.
Oh.
Dippy the Goof.
And then they dropped
Disney's more mysterious.
That was a
than I
come up.
thought.
I'm gonna say Dippy the Goof was not as cool of a name as Goofy.
Right.
Like that's, I get it.
Lord.
Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to make some noise for Sebastian Stan.
Thank you so much. Portland.
Somebody loves you. Somebody loves you.
I love you guys too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
We meet again
Yes.
in this environment.
Yes. With the bright lights and all our friendships. How you been, man? You been good?
Yeah, I've been all right. I haven't been too bad. How long has it been since I've seen you? Let's see. Last time I saw you, I just
I mean, it's technically this morning, but
gotten out of prison. Not really, but looked like it.
you didn't. Well, okay, no, you did.
That was
kinda-
St.
That was
Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
Yeah.
You did have the haircut.
And that was in the end of beginning of February.
Beginning of February, yes,
Right.
yes. When you were very coy about the next appearance that we would see you in. We didn't know some things. Anybody else see Black Panther? Now, obviously, I'm a comic book guy. I'm a geek off the rip. So, are you aware of who the White Wolf has been in the comics?
Yeah, I started looking it up because once I realized that connection, I thought I should research it. But I didn't know that. Nobody had told me that when we were doing this. The one scene that I was in. Nobody was, and it was, let me say something. There was something really, actually, very funny about that scene. It's definitely better the way it is now, I think, because it
Yeah.
But that scene was at least 8 more minutes longer than the point you saw. and it was like a more inquisitive Bucky, you know, like he was like kind of really going like, what are they calling me and stuff. He, you know, and she was telling him a little bit about it, and they kind of have more of an interaction, and then he like walked over and started hanging out with the elders, playing with the kids, but you don't see that.
Wouldn't it be cool if that was seeding something?
I want to see that.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
One of these days, I think Marvel's gonna release like all the deleted scenes or all the. I think they're gonna do that.
That would be amazing.
Because that would be.
Somebody tweet that. Tweet that they should do that like right now, and let's make that happen. All right, so that was just my geeky question. We got that out of the way.
But yeah,
there's some people.
but I have no idea.
No.
Like it's another amazing kind of sort of way that the character could go, which is kind of.
I'm not saying I would love it, but I would love it. You already know. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on your questions. Now, we are going to ask that you be a little cognizant of those people behind you. If you can duck down, that would be appreciated. All right, so we're going to start right here, and then we're going to bounce back over here and over here. Okay, we got that? All right, go. Hello.
I am really nervous, sorry. Braços spune prima data te tehi u best achado molt. But my question for you is, what life experiences do you draw on in order to portray Bucky so well? Like he has such an interesting journey from beginning to end. You know, he was this kind of suave guy back in the whatever it was 50s with
That
Steve.
used to be my life. A long time ago. No.
And then, you know, he dealt with all that stuff with Hydra, and now he's recovering from that.
Well, you know, when I was on Gossip Girl, the thing was that I really, really thought I knew what it meant to be cool. No, I don't know. It was just, it's nothing, sort of, you go along as you go. I mean, you're learning as you go. At least with the character, you kind of keep revisiting. But the comic books were a huge thing, and you know, I was always a fan of the 40s and the 50s, and just kind of like studying that period a little bit and imagining sort of where, you know, and it was a decision of kind of starting him off in a place where we knew that would be very different from where he would end up, and just, you know, that's kind of how those decisions were made. But I think
You're just basically saying that you're a great actor.
no,
Obviously.
Yeah, though.
If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm probably always better when I talk less.
Oh, come on.
No.
So I don't know. Maybe you know, when they were like, let's take the lines away, it became a lot easier or something.
Or you just put forth that energy even more, and we're like, yes.
Well, the Winter Soldier stuff, like I remember, I used to just listen to a lot of music all the time, over and over again, because it was just helping. You know, you kind of have something going on, even when we were shooting. I mean, I wasn't listening to music, but while we weren't shooting, I was. And then I would just kind of play those songs over in my head and hear them out. So it just always looked like something was going on.
Everyone wants to know what was the top song on that playlist.
It was just a lot of Pink Floyd and maybe some AC/DC.
Yes.
Beyonce.
You know,
Beyonce.
I was all over the place. I mean, you know, the Dark Knight soundtrack.
Hey. Distinguished competition. That's not bad. Way to pull from them.
That was an amazing movie.
It's true.
I mean,
True. Very true. No, very nice. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Magali. I am excited to be here and see you. I have one question for you. What is the weirdest or biggest fear you have?
The weirdest or biggest fear I have?
Being asked that question.
Well, you know, the biggest fear I think I have is not having enough time, believe it or not. Like, nowadays, I'm just so conscious of time. Like, I feel like there's so much stuff left to do, you know? There's so much, and I'm really thinking a lot about how many hours in a day there are, and what do you do with your time, you know? And I think my biggest fear is, like, you know, time going by on this planet and not having, you know, done all the things I've thought about, or, you know, or even, it could be even the smaller things. Sometimes you want to say something and you don't say it and then you regret it, you know, and it's like, just say it. you know, because maybe you won't get a second chance or whatever. So I feel like maybe wasting time might be my biggest fear. The weirdest fear, what could be weird?
Fear itself?
Weirdest fear, I don't know. You know, like everybody else, you know, I'm sure I'm harder on myself than I should be at times, and that's, you know, you gotta remember we're all in that department together.
Well, don't worry,
Yeah.
we all love you. So.
I love you too.
You know, the solution to that.
I gotta clarify something. Here's
Oh.
the thing, because now you brought it up. You know, I didn't even know that a video was taken of me saying that I didn't think that my fans cared for me, and I want to tell you something. Like, I was asked when they said something about the Winter Soldier, and I was like, it was more figure of speech. You know, sometimes like we don't have a lot of time together. We're sitting there and it's moving fast, and someone's asking me a question. I'm already thinking about the other person, and so it was much more off the cuff. My response. It really isn't the way I feel. I promise.
We love you.
I know how much you guys love me, and I love you too. And as a result of that, though, like there's these two accounts. You know, we care about Seb, and also the fundraiser that was for this charity, our big day out in Romania of these orphan kids. I mean, it's unbelievable what you guys have done and money you contributed. So thank you for that, and trust me, I'm with you till the end.
Hello, dear.
Hello. Hi, Sebastian. I'm Elaine. How are you doing today, first of all?
I'm good.
Like, you're eating and, like, drinking water? Because, like, you have such a busy day.
Hydrating.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so my question is, if you could be any Disney princess, who would you be?
Wait.
Disney princess?
Was that meet or be any Disney princess? What'd you say?
Be. Like, which Disney princess do you want to be? And can you
I've
see
always
yourself?
had a huge crush on Jasmine, by the way.
Yeah! Hey!
Man.
Dude, I agree. I agree.
And then I want to say, like, Ariel's pretty good. Is she a princess?
Yes,
Yes.
she is. Yes, she is.
I would say those two were always my favorite.
Okay. So you like fish?
Yeah. I guess I'll be... That's insane. Just saying.
Well, you have to think about it like
There it is.
Wait a minute.
Well done. Slipping that one in there. No pun intended. Okay. So Jasmine, that's what I do.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi there. I'm a librarian at a school where Marvel is like the most popular thing to check out, and it's like flying off the shelves. And I was wondering if you could like a message for the kids that I can put up in the area where the Marvel books are, like something that you hope that they can learn from your character.
That you hope that they could learn about.
Yeah, learn from you or your character.
First of all, the message should be please keep reading. And then, second, seriously, like, let me tell you one thing. Like, it's getting harder and harder because you really don't have to all the time, but there's something so important about it that you don't understand.
So true.
It's like your imagination. It's the only way your mind, like, exists. It's so personal to you. Because when you read, there's nothing for you to, like, grab onto. Anyway, I'll continue. So keep reading. But I was going to say that, every character has a past, and don't be so quick to judge anybody.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you.
That was adorable. That was.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
Did y'all plan that?
That's actually my name, so.
It is now. Like this.
I'm Aladdin.
A whole new world.
Okay, my question is, if you could switch bodies with Chris Evans for a day, what would you do?
Switch what? Lines?
Bodies. Chris Evans.
If you were in control,
lives.
yeah, no bodies, literally just bodies with Chris, what would you do?
Shave the mustache.
Shave the mustache? I don't know. Chris Evans in that body, my God.
Same.
I guess I'd have to, take my shirt off and keep the mustache and run down the West Side Highway in New York City. Now that it's spring. Actually, that would be so crazy. Can you imagine if you go to sleep and then someone else takes over your body for one day and you wake up the next day with all the consequences? You can think about what I'd do to Anthony Mackie. Or Tom Holland.
Mac's gonna be so mad that you even threw that out there. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So I actually had a question about I, Tanya. I was wondering how you got into the headspace of the character of Jeff, considering he's a real person and his involvement in the Tanya Harding episode.
Well, look, that was definitely not an easy feat. I mean, actually, I came here. The last time I was in Portland was when I came to do research on that movie in January of last year, so it's very weird. Even coming to this airport, it's really crazy because I used to remember, just from the footage and everything, like that's where they would come and then when she'd fly back. But, I'm not even sure if I ever really made it in there completely or if anybody ever could. It's really hard to understand someone. It really is difficult. I mean, like, we come with so many preconceived ideas and things that we usually feel about ourselves that we don't realize that we immediately throw on the other person, and I'm not talking about Jeff, I'm just talking about a regular, but, in terms of him, I just had to follow what was in the script. I didn't really have much choice there, and that was like the challenge, because usually, you do have kind of like your imagination to build something and put something together, but here I had to, like, in a way mold myself to this person, and it was hard. I mean, there were some days that were easier than others, but you try and do the best you can. I mean, of course, you can't just, I feel like as an actor sometimes, I feel like you do have this duty. You gotta show all the good sides and the bad sides of human beings, and what they're capable of, so that we all learn from it, I guess.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much. You were amazing in that movie.
Thank you.
You really were, though, actually. Yeah. For a movie that captures kind of a horrific moment in pop cultural history, like, you brought something really interesting to it. So I definitely agree, co-sign all the way. Yes?
Thank you, man.
Okay, just checking. I was making sure it wasn't just me. Hello, Winter Soldier.
Hi, my name's Genesis. What do you think that Bucky and Steve do, like, after a win from a mission? Like, what do they do to celebrate?
What do they do after a win from a mission? Play darts? No, honestly, but they haven't even gotten to, like, hang out, I feel like.
That's true.
Like, when have they hung out since 1947?
Have they ever gone out for a drink?
Yeah,
I mean,
get drunk.
back in the day. I
Yeah,
feel
back in the day,
was
like, that would be
something,
it? Man.
But think about it, like, now they get together and it'd be like two old men on a porch just going, remember when,
I remember.
yeah, remember when you were still who you are now? I don't know, but I certainly want to see that scene. It'd be great to see that scene one day.
So, Steve was given a list of things to look up. What do you think would be on your list of things to kind of catch up on as Bucky?
All right. Self-help section. Okay.
You are your own man. Gotcha.
Wow. Life is beautiful. Okay, I guess I'll watch that film. I don't know. He would have to, in a way, he'd have to have probably a very similar list.
Nice.
In a way. But we were talking, Letitia and I were talking a lot about kind of like, what did she do to get Bucky, kind of back?
What did she do?
Well, what do you guys think that happened in Wakanda?
Well played. Good dodge. Good dodge. That was Winter Soldier level. He's like, yep, nope. Not answering that one. Good job. What do you guys think? Did she do something cool? Did she deprogram him?
Yeah.
Was it a Koye bead? They just stuck it in the back of his neck?
Did you guys ever see Last Samurai, that movie?
Yes. Yes.
That to me was, you know, if you see kind of like what happens with Tom Cruise's character in that movie, like sort of how he goes through it in a way that, you know, he faces all these nightmares, he goes through all that whole sort of transformation, and he's just finally, you know, they test him and they kind of put him in situations to gain his trust, for him to gain their trust, and then eventually he actually learns about the culture and he becomes one of them in a way. I feel like that's how I think of that time in Wakanda.
Because he's been there. We all wish to go to there. Hello.
Hi, I'm Emily. I have a fashion question for you. Before the screening at the London premiere, you had on a velvet shirt and a jacket. Was that color scheme inspired by the mystery van from Scooby-Doo?
That's amazing. No, I didn't think that way. You know, I work with this really amazing stylist. His name is John Tan, and I always tease him, but because he's like, you have to wear something that's not black. You can't keep. And I was like, John, but that's who I am.
Never always wear black.
So it was honestly, I had just seen that jacket, and I like bomber jackets, and so I don't know. I was like, oh look, we could have color. And then splash. It was a lot of color.
Thank you.
Did you like it though? Did you like his outfit?
I had feelings about it.
It's a very good, honest answer, and it's one I'll take.
Yeah. Fair game. Hello.
Hi. So on set there are multiple Toms and multiple Chris's. Who is your favorite Tom and who's your favorite Chris?
All right, we'll amend that one. How did you tell them apart? Yeah, did you just say Tom and just see who turned around?
That's a good question.
That way we don't get nobody in trouble.
Well, I can't really answer that because that would insinuate that everybody was there at the same time.
Whoa! I wasn't even trying that time. That was good.
So, you know, I feel like all the Chris's are great. I mean, they're like three men and a baby. They are. They're like the three men and Tom Holland's the baby. That's it. So, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, my name is Mizuho. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. My question is, where is your favorite place and why? It means not the city name, not the country name. It means for doing something, for healing, something like that.
Let me get that.
What's your safe place? Where's your favorite place to just be? Not necessarily city or country, but like a particular room in your house or something like that. What's your favorite place?
Well, once I tell you that place, will I see you there?
Well, you see us all there. That's really your favorite place.
My favorite place. No, I have to tell you. I mean, like, I'm very biased about New York City. I really am, because I don't know what it is. Every time I come back and I see that skyline and that terrifying drive from JFK back, and if something clicks for me. But I do feel like I need to be in nature once in a while, and then when I do that, if I'm there, I'll go to like Central Park under a tree, and then but
everyone's gonna be hunting at Central Park for you from now on.
Yeah, and also the water is great too. Like, I can't, because then I'm gonna see you guys there.
Yeah, your safe
and I don't
place
mind
is now
that at
default
all. But yes, water is important for sure. Whether it's in California, whether it's by the beach, that's a good one.
You okay?
Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, so my name is Maddie, and my question was, when you were a little kid, who did you identify, what Marvel character did you identify with as a little kid, and why?
I wish I had Marvel characters when I was a little kid. I didn't have Marvel characters.
You're far more well-read than that. That's like you...
No, but I remember like the first... I watched like really crazy stuff when I was growing up. Like, I mean, I was a big wrestling fan.
Yes. Did you watch WrestleMania?
I did. I was a big WWF fan. I mean, it was a huge thing for me, and so I was, you know, those. But
who's your favorite wrestler? Come on, say it.
Undertaker.
Can't believe the Undertaker is still around.
I mean,
woo!
It's kind of incredible.
No, I went through all kinds of phases. Like I used to like Lex Luger, and then at one point I like Mr. Perfect. I even liked $1 Million Man. Like they're all the older ones that, you know. Anyway, but I didn't have Marvel characters. I didn't grow up with comic books, unfortunately, so I don't have a huge one. But look, if I were to pick a superhero, like obviously, you know, everybody knows Batman. You know, you gotta.
You can't go wrong with Batman.
No, I mean it's the one that, you know, you could be under a rock and not know who.
That's true. That's true. There are people that live under rocks and they're still like, Batman did it. Yeah. No, I get with that.
Batman Returns by Tim Burton was one of my favorite movies growing up. I love that movie. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer, the Penguin. I mean, that movie's so great.
True. Too true. Totally agree with that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. So first off, I'm really glad that you're here in Portland.
Well, thank you. I came and it was really... My bad.
Well, usually I have to travel to go see Sebastian. So
There's a movie I play with myself called Finding Victor.
I'm here.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. So my question for you is, what is your favorite place to eat in Portland?
See you there tonight. God damn it! I went to a great place last night called, I think it's called, I'm gonna get it wrong, El Gaucho? Because it was just an incredible steak place. But I'm just gonna say, one of the things that I love here about Portland is the coffee, obviously, and Stumptown.
Oh yeah.
Right? That started here. And the original one, that's the one that I went to. But another one of my favorite places is the big bookstore. Unbelievable. I love that place. And then there's a movie theater right around that area, and they have couches. So anyway, I'll see you guys for a movie, and then we'll read a book.
We had Voodoo Donuts earlier. We did, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, no fighting. We're about to have a civil war all over again. You see that? See what you do?
Where's Hawk?
I know, right? Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I'm wondering, what was your
Are you a
favorite...
villain from the DC Comics?
No.
It's
Cat Connor.
I was gonna say, you're the lizard. Fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
That is awesome. I was literally geeking out. I was like, is he the lizard? Oh my God, he is. That's awesome.
Anyways, what was your favorite scene in Civil War so far?
Civil War.
My favorite scene in Civil War, I think, is the whole escape sequence. You know, like from the apartment into the Black Panther fight, and then into the chase sequence. It was, you know, like reading that was just so crazy. I was like, I can't believe this just keeps going. And so that one.
That was amazing. Truly amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Poi, and essentially you played 3 different Buckys. You played 1940s like suave ladies man Bucky, and then you played like Winter Soldier Bucky, and then you played like how Shuri would say broken white boy Bucky.
You guys, Wizard World's got to get Letitia here. That's what I'm.
Yes!
I think we should start a hashtag, and it's called Get Letitia.
Done.
Yeah.
2 times
She's amazing.
Oh, and
sorry.
then,
Yes.
no.
Broken white boy.
But my question is, which Bucky was your favorite to play?
You know, when you're a broken white boy, you can play a broken white boy.
I mean,
look, they're all interesting. You know, I'm like now. It's like I guess Bucky number 4. You know, I mean, he's kind of like, I don't know, it's a little bit back to number 1-ish, slightly, so we'll see.
Nice.
They're just not letting him cut his hair, you know.
It looks good on him. It looks good.
I mean, the wave, Jesus, it's like, it's perfect.
Okay, so obviously you've had some interactions with Letitia since the movie came out, yes?
Well, yeah. So she and I were in London recently, and we were paired together to do the press stuff, and it was great. Like I was just laughing with her hysterically. Yeah.
Did she call you a colonizer?
No, but she was like, I think at one point she referred to me. She's like, "Bucky, you're funny." I was like,
"My name's Sebastian." It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my question is, if you had to get any of your fellow Infinity War castmates tattooed, who would you get and where?
He said Chris Evans because it's the one person you know for sure that he knows in that movie. There you go.
I mean, I would probably have to. I would have to go with Evans and Mackie. You know, probably because those are my. You know, we're like the trifecta. You know, those are my my right and my left, I guess.
Hey.
So
that was like the sweetest thing.
Yeah, probably that.
Nice.
Whoa. And then I'd get like Wakanda Forever all across my back.
Thank you. Hello. Whoa,
Hi,
whoa.
how's it
Keep like stabbing people behind you. That was
Sorry about that. Okay, my name's Josh. One question and one quick request. So my friend Cora over there really wanted a hug from you today, and it would mean the world to me if you could do that for me.
Wait, pause.
Oh, can we not do that?
We
Sorry.
can't do that right here.
Okay, sorry.
Save that for like the autograph area because it can get crowded. Everybody's be like, "Yeah, I'm Sarah," and that's just weird. Like,
Sorry about that. Okay, so my question was, if you were cast as Luke Skywalker because you look exactly like Mark Hamill. Like, what kind of storyline would you like for Luke to have?
Wizard World has to get Mark Hamill.
Listen,
we have to be here at the same time.
I wonder why that's never happened.
Because it would be so weird and strange. It'd be like looking in the mirror. Listen, the only storyline I could ever really realistically, you know, entertain would be what happened to him after Return of the Jedi. And that's the only thing I could ever, you know, if they ever wanted to do anything then, but I don't know. You know, it depends. I gotta do some research. I mean, what happens to him at the end of Return of the Jedi?
That's a good question.
We should talk.
Now, if there's any sci-fi franchise like that I would want to see you in, it would be you playing Kyle Reese, because you do favor Michael Biehn quite a bit. So if we could find out what Kyle Reese was doing before he went back.
Yes.
We're not counting Salvation. That movie never came out. See? I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Okay, you're talking about before Terminator 1.
Right.
Now, has there ever been a before Terminator 1, like
technically Salvation was before he goes back? And other than Anton
We don't talk about that film?
Yeah, that one, it just didn't exist. God.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mass hysteria. We're all like, yeah, Salvation, I remember that. Yeah.
Michael Biehn, I'll think about that.
All right, I just got the nod, so we're gonna have to burn through these questions. Are you ready? Here we go.
Hi, my name's Lori. Mine's quick. What would be your stripper name? My daughter wanted me to ask you.
Broken White Boy.
Get your ones out, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the stage, it's Broken White Boy.
That song is so good.
It is a good one. It is a good one.
Amazing.
It's fantastic.
Anyway,
Yes, thank you. Hello.
Hey there. My name is Robert Baldwin, and I also have a Star Wars question for you. So,
You sure you're not Darth Vader? Okay, go ahead.
Actually, no. Anyway, supposedly, if Marvel and Star Wars were to merge together, and who would you want to go up against as Winter Soldier? Against a Star Wars character.
What Star Wars character would he go up against?
Yeah, like the current Star Wars.
Well, like the very recent ones. I can't name the character, and you know, what was that character that I would love to strangle him to death?
Did you say Kylo
You know
Ren?
who I'm talking about?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren.
Jar Jar Binks?
Jar Jar Binks. I would do some damage to him.
Wow. There you go. Winter Soldier chokes
Yeah.
out Jar Jar. And we're all happy.
Or I'd face Mark Hamill. That's what I'd face. Luke
And it just got real. It just got real. All right, we have time for 2 more questions. So go ahead, sweetie.
Hi, my name's Lauren. I was just wondering if you've ever learned, like throughout your years at Marvel, if you've learned like some life skill, or if you've been given some advice that's stuck with you throughout the years.
Oh man, the biggest one I think, and it's really hard to kind of like get down, but it's the no expectations, you know, advice. That's the big thing that I got one time. Someone said to me, they were like, you have to fall in love with the process and not the end result. And your brain and your ego and everything is always going to fight you on that, because it's always going to be like, well, what am I doing this for? Or what's it going to be when I get there? Well, why should I put in all this work if everything is gonna, and the thing is like, it's always about, you gotta just love the process, you know, and not the end result, and that might be it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, for our final question.
My name is Jonathan, and not as much of a question, but just a kind of weird anecdote. I was one of the few people who loved the NBC TV show Kings that you did.
Thank you, man.
Canceled way too soon. It was a super awesome show.
It would have been going if it was coming out now.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I was named after Jonathan from the Bible, who you played in that TV series, so I've always felt kind of weirdly akin to you. So I kind of want to go forward, what would a season 2 of Kings been like? And thank you, because I love seeing you make it big, because I've loved you since the beginning. Yes!
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Season 2.
Yeah, I think we actually spoke about that. And by the way, and they were planning it already, and it was gonna be, Jack was gonna be the king in season 2, and he was gonna have David be his like consigliere, so to speak, and that was, and then they were gonna rule together, and the whole thing would have started a whole different way. But the two of them would have been, like on the same side this time.
Wow.
You know who did that is Michael Green, by the way, who is an amazing writer.
It was a writer's strike that canceled it, right? It wasn't, if I remember
No,
right.
it was honestly because I think that they didn't, to be honest, I don't think that they knew how to market it well. And at the time, unfortunately, and we were going to be on Thursdays after ER at the time.
Tough slot.
No, but that was going to be a good one. That was going to be, that was what you always wanted on NBC. It's like Thursday, and then we got moved to Sunday, and but yeah.
We got 13 hours.
We'll always have Kings.
There you go. And on that note, Portland, make some noise for Sebastian.